What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. First of all, Merry Christmas, everyone. But I thought since Christmas is kind of like snow themed or something, I thought I'd revisit this ice barrier deck that I really enjoy. And I'm kind of starting off with, my favorite combo. Maybe not the best line of play. Nothing to do with like the typical Halq Mecha Phantom Beast combo stuff, but it's still pretty good. It's kind of like the Gen X Undying combo, but a little bit better. And I also open up Atlantean Dragoons, meaning I'll be able to take two cards out of their hand too. So, I mean, they're starting with four cards. You have an Omni Negate plus two monster bounces, and then when it bounces, it turns into Borreload Savage Dragon. So it's a decent amount of interruption for sure. Also, actually, they start with one less card because you also go into Desert Lotus. Meaning you're picking three cards out of their hand. With all the disruption that you have, it's actually pretty nice. I can go ahead and just flip over the Penguin Soldier, go into Borreload Savage Dragon, which is pretty cool, man. I mean that's nice. So we'll go through all of these combos now, or all these gameplay videos, I should say. So that's one of the mainstays. That's kind of like been typical, but I actually did change the mainline combo a lot. I run Kaijus in the deck. That's kind of been standard because you play Moray of Greed, and also this card's pretty half decent. Especially for a combo deck, all you need to do is go through your combo and you win the duel like most times. That's why you play Crossout Designator. That's why you play Cult by the Grave. And it works. This is probably the best deck that I've had that you actually works well with Crossout Designator. Because then you get to play a bunch of one-of-hand traps, and it's kind of a decent system. Obviously, the Kaiju is huge here because it's pretty much unaffected by card effects. So it's nice to have an out to everything. Unfortunately, it doesn't have like a hand, and I also drew two Atlantean Dragoons, but it's also not the end of the world because you can still go through your normal Halq combo, which is very nice, which turns out three negates. This is very cool. The Mecha Phantom Beast, it looks kind of similar, but I do go into this Cupid stuff. I went over this combo with Blue Eyes. It's the exact same combo, but it's just way better in this deck. I was just playing it because, Blue Eyes is a classic, kind of popular character. Andy ended up surrendering there. I could have popped this back row, like kind of good stuff. Here is a couple of games against Dark Magician, because why not? Surprisingly, he made me go first. This was game 3. And I'm like, well, alright, that's fine with me. Because even though I drew all these going second cards thinking I was going second, if he lets me do my combos, he's going to let me do it. He said he had signed it in Nibiru, but, this combo snipes that card right out of the hand. Also, I have, backup plans if I just go through the regular combos with cross out. I really wouldn't try to bank on drawing Nibiru against this deck. It's not going to be very fruitful. The cool thing about this combo versus the old one is when you summon Mulan Glacia, if you discard monsters, they get banished instead because of Herald, which makes it I think objectively better. But instead, I kind of discarded 2 of his trap cards, and I just have negates for everything. He can't activate this card at all. He top deck another Dark Magician. It truly do be like that sometimes on the deck. This looks, well, I could go for the Ice Barrier combo, but I'll probably go for Deep Sea Diva, of course. Because this is actually half decent follow-up because these 2 cards equal the Ice Barrier monster that banishes 3. And I think it's actually a pretty decent effect. He has a bunch of doubles in his hand, so it's pretty weird. I didn't really know what to snipe out of his hand. But I have the negate, for the Red Ice Fusion. It's pretty interesting. He's playing 3 copies. It's kind of like a hard copy thing. Which is really interesting because of Magician's Rod and stuff. You kind of do need your normal summon. And other special summons like with Magician's Souls, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is like a... I think this is actually a really good deck if you're new to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because... it's just simple enough, right? You learn how to when to hold your negates, when to use them, because that can be really important when you're playing other kind of strategies there. He's got 1 of each here. He top decks a Salvation. That's fine. I mean, as long as he doesn't have access to Dark Magician, then obviously I'm good to go. So all of this is okay. And even if let's say he had Dark Magician in his hand, he hard opened it. Even when he activates Eternal Soul, just go ahead and negate that. I played a couple of games against this kind of deck out duel here, and it looks like I have the Ice Barrier combo in my hand. A little crummy because you have Penguin Soldier, So we'll see. Oh, I think this is when I go into the new Chichula monster, which I was just talking about, of course. I'm also going to be able to discard 2 cards from his hand, which is great. And I can't wait till Ice Barriers get better low level monsters. If you can send like an Ice Barrier that, like, upon Foolish Burial would, summon the speaker of the Ice Barriers, that would just be sick. That would be like next level stuff. And I think that's like very fine. If you could send one and the card that said when it's sent to the graveyard, like, add a level 4 Ice Barrier to your hand, that'd be super dope. But obviously this card was like very much on full display of how good it is. And actually, if you can believe it, Moulin Glacia and Deep Sea Diva equal Baroness. Even better reason why this deck is just a little, a little better than it was before, the way I originally played it. Not that that version's bad at all, but I do think this is it's pretty good. I have a little bit of everything. Plague Spreader Zombies is also kind of the big change I made. So this used to be Gen X Undyne, but that combo is just lame. It's decent, but the Halq combo is so much better. And this is obviously just one card, because you normal summon Plague Spreader, go into Almirage, shuffle something back, which could be like a game-ending brick, like the Mecha Phantom Beast, and then you just get the combo off. But if you have Deep Sea Diva, you're always going to do it because you want to, obviously sniping 2 cards out of your opponent's hand is very good. And it's simple enough. The combo, it is a combo, but it doesn't take that long, especially when you get used to it. So, it's not going to take you forever. It's not like, man, you got to do like 50,000 steps. It's very straightforward. I think this is the objectively best way to play it, by putting these in defense position to play around Lightning Storm. Because if they activate it, you'll lose the Mecha Phantom Beast, but you probably want to save your negates for something else if you can. Popping everything with Baroness is just, it's so good. Recall, that's pretty funny. I wouldn't agree. Just play Solemn Strike. I don't know what are you protecting your life points for? I'll go ahead and negate there, which actually opens up the zone for me, which is very cool. I could have gone into like a Bahamut Shark, of course. That's always pretty good. This is against Dino. Literally just anything you could imagine here. Whenever you play casual, dude, card destruction is like meta for some reason. Everybody plays it. He did have the Misk, which is fine, because actually his dinos are affected by effects, of course. But he is going to activate triple attack. Take a look at my hand. So, I mean, I don't have much going for me here, and this is also not a great draw. Although, I forgot about this earlier. I had, off of the card destruction, I set Plague Spreader, so as long as you have a monster that you can literally normal summon, you can go into the full Halq combo. That's why I say that. I thought that was really cool. Fallen of Albaz, which is like double protected, so there's no way that this combo is not going through. So what I'm probably going to do is snipe like the Called by the Grave, because these might get banished, which is obviously very good. I know there's one like Fallen of Albaz card that when it's banished it has an effect, so obviously, I would not snipe that out of a hand. Alright, Cupid Pidge. You're going to see this combo a lot, because Plague Spreader does the exact same thing. But the combo obviously is just super good, super consistent. Really the only thing is the Mecha Phantom Beast Cult Wing, but now that you have another way to, get it out of your hand, through full combo, it makes the deck like 10 times more playable for me. And I did snipe the 2 monsters, which is just awesome. And then, of course, they surrendered. Nothing much going there. This is against Goki. This was, I think, ended kind of crazy. He's got a couple hand traps, which is obviously pretty nice. And there we go. And yeah, this actually has like nothing to do with searching, so I actually would have been fine. So through 2 interruptions, I ended up going into the Bahamut Shark to go for the Totally Awesome. So it's okay, but it's just decent. And I'll go ahead and take this because it wouldn't hit the graveyard. The very normal summon reliant deck, of course. And I sent the Totally Awesome back into it, because if this stayed on the field, I can just summon it back next turn. And that was nice. So it's nice to be able to make at least 1 interruption through a couple hand traps. Not a lot of decks can do that, I feel like. This is a couple duels against Grand Maju, which is, man, it ends pretty nuts. For a deck that's like so based on going second, it's funny how many kind of traps he plays. But Impure Order, of course, is pretty good. Although you can't activate it because of Necro Valley. I feel like you're kind of working against yourself there. This is full combo, which is pretty nice. Although I'm sure he'll interrupt it at some point. And there we go. That comes down. So I can't synchro summon, but I can go into Halq. Maybe I can, switch this out during his turn. But he did end up sending it back, which I feel like is kind of a waste. I don't know. I definitely feel like there may have been a better time to do that. He top decks another Gren Maju, so he's got a big boy, but I have the effect failure. Whew, keeps me alive for one more turn. And I think I do have 5 waters in the graveyard now, so I can go ahead and summon out the Mooling Glacier. I have the Kaiju. That card just seems better and better the more I'm watching these replays. So definitely comes in handy. And yeah, dude, he tried. I was like, if he summons this out, I'm like, oh, I'm screwed because he's to banish from his graveyard. But he has Necro Valley. It'd be yourself, man. So now I'm thinking at this point, he ain't got any cards left. So what could he possibly top deck? And I have 2 defense position monsters. He gets over it. I'm honestly not going to bounce over this. I feel good because their defense matches. And, somehow if he got Gren Maju to his hand, I knew this to be in defense position. And that's why I keep kind of sending these down. And he would have decked out. So that was wild. I thought for sure I was going to lose that match. This one's really cool too. So Moray of Greed. You can actually activate Moray of Greed with a lot more confidence than you would before. Simply because, well, especially if you have Plague Spreader Zombie. Because even if you draw, like you're hoping to draw into Deep Sea Diva always because it's just a better combo. But with this in your hand, it totally guarantees, your safety pretty much. That's why I would play Cross out. This deck wouldn't be really playable without it. And I was able to go into 1 negate, through the Dimension Shifter, which is half decent. I can pop a card back here. He's going to go for the Compulsory. This only negates like summons, so I'm obviously pretty good there. And there can be only one. But these are actually all different types. Spellcaster, Sea Serpent, Warrior, Machine, which not a lot of decks can do. And I was able to kind of manipulate my hand too to summon out Mooling Glacier because this is a Cybers of all things, a bunch of different types. So that was that's kind of nice because some decks obviously just simply cannot play around that card. Here's Mystic Mine, and this is just kind of the the regular combo with Ice Barrier, no discards, but I think it's all right. It's still a decent form of interruption, although it's not great against, Mystic Mine exactly. I hope this card gets banned. It's been around way too long. I don't understand. But here we go. Everything is kind of lining up here with the Penguin Brave. I love the card art for this. It's one of my favorite cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Penguin Soldier is also like a shatter foil, so that's why I love the card in real life too. It's my favorite kind of printing. I'm going to make him discard a card here, and now that I know he's playing this, I'm like, oh, he's playing Mystic Mine, so I literally just wait for him to activate Mystic Mine, and that'll be good. Okay, so here comes the Print Kids. This deck is funny, man. It's like they're willing to quit out so fast. It's like, your combos take forever. So it's like, oh, I'm the bad guy because I'm playing, Deep Sea Diva. But the cool thing is obviously I'm going to snipe a card out of his hand. And, at the end of this combo, I'm discarding 2 cards. So I'm probably going to be banishing 2 monsters from his hand, which is just insane. But he ended up quitting, so good for him. This is just something random, I suppose. Yeah, I still have no idea what this deck is. But okay, I had all my play starters here, but I didn't have the Ice Bear. I probably no. Always have to go for Deep Sea Diva. Looking at his hand, I'll take the Breakthrough skill because I'm hoping to banish 2 monsters from his hand at the end of this combo, which I think is exactly what happens. And I already know everything else on here. The Dark Hole, obviously I'm going to have the negate for. So he'd literally have to top deck like a Dark Ruler no more probably. But the cool thing is about playing Crossout is like most of the time you're probably going to open up like one of these hand traps. So it's good if they get Dark Ruler more to maybe have something as backup to have a little bit of interruption during their turn. Considering they're only going to have like 4 cards in their hand. Here we go. And there we go. The Creation Resonator. Mooling Glacier. And I played this, pretty right. And there we go. Banish 2. Whew. 4 cards with 3 negates. Like, good luck. Good luck. And there we go. Just sets and passes. I'm going to go ahead and pop with Baroness because I knew this was a breakthrough skill. I will, negate there. And this is just going to be a turn. I'm going to flip all of these face up and go for attack. And even if he, had some sort of effect to hit the graveyard, I still have the other negates, as an answer for that. I showed the Relinquish one. Just a couple duels against, Speedroids here. And it looks like I'm going to start with Plague Spreader, so, You know, 3 interruptions obviously isn't like... You're very vulnerable because of forbidden droplets and all that, but yeah, like I talked about, this isn't a meta deck. This is just for fun, and it is really fun. I actually really recommend playing this, just to give it a try. It's just nice to be able to go into that combo so consistently. And if you open up, you can actually do the same combo. Well, actually, no. I was thinking with the Ice Barrier stuff if you can go into Halq Fibrax, but neither of the spellcasters, your starters, are tuners. You have to summon from the deck, and it kind of locks you into water monsters. Alright, so he just sets a bunch of cards and passes. I will pop one of the back row. It ends up being a Mirror Force, which is hilarious. And then you can use the effect of Mecha Beast, which I also think is pretty cool, personally. Like, this card is just decent interruption as long as your board stays kind of apart there. The red reboot isn't going to do anything, and I'm not going to negate this. Like, okay, go ahead. And he sent the the red-eyed dice there. I think he was trying to, you know, discard this so he has it with double yo-yo, but yeah, because of the Herald of Arclight, it gets banished instead, which is awesome. Like 4 more duels, another one against Speedroids. Yeah, it's reasoning, a lot of funny little tech choices here. But I do have Nibiru, of course. And when I'm going second, or I know I'm going second, normally I will, you know, side out the cross-out Detonators and add more hand traps. That way it just kind of gives you a better chance. Or if there's like hand traps that you know they're not playing, or more than likely not playing, then, you know, you can add extra kind of interruption. I actually Nibiru'd way too early here. I don't know what I was so afraid of when he went into Cork Blaster, but he did go to Crystal Clear Wing. I'm not going to let him gain any attacks, so that I can just get it off the board. Not that I was going to activate, you know, any like spells so we can negate them. I definitely have to be able to get over it. Although I guess I could have with Baroness. That probably was a misplay too. This is definitely not my best match. I'm going to end up discarding both of his monsters, like, which is just so crazy. This is just insane. Okay. And there we go. Cupid Pitch, which is pretty nice. Increase its level. If you guys like really want me to, I can do like a step-by-step combo tutorial, but you could probably just go back to when I was playing Blue Eyes. I guess the only difference is, you know, with Deep Sea, it's a slightly different, just ends on a different monster here. But there they go. Boom. Smell you later. I'm going to pop the token, and that's it. Although, oh no, yeah, because I had attacked earlier that turn. Okay, so I can go ahead and negate the speed recovery. He's going to discard there, and, you know, considering he discarded his last card, I will also negate that too, of course. And this is against a stun deck of some sort. Yeah, it's like Swift Scarecrow. Eldritch. Wow, there's just a lot of random stuff in here. This is just Yu-Gi-Oh! The deck. I didn't ever realize. I didn't look at his list. Fallen of Alvaz. Why not, dude? He held on to the effect Veiler just, you know, too long, because if you negate Deep Sea Diva, the combo's usually over. I can't think of an extender off the top of my head, at least. A Speaker of the Ice Barrier, special summon if you control a water monster, that'd be different, but yeah, you don't. Alright, so there goes the Mecha Beast Colt Wing. Pretty standard stuff, of course. That's why I didn't have too many replays today. Good combo is the same for 90% of the time. Baroness, Arc, Mool, and I'll negate a couple of those. This one's decent, I suppose. He top decked Elemental Hero Neos, like RIP in peace. I will pop that back row, flip these face up, and I guess if he tried to activate Effect Veiler, I still had another negate on top of that. This is enough for lethal. And he went ahead and surrendered. This is Trains. Never know what Trains do. And I'll go ahead and activate Medallion, and I do activate Moray of Greed, literally just so that I can maybe draw into like your cross out or your called by, so your combo's a little more safe. And I've talked about this a few times in the video now. You know, that's why it's so great to see Plague Spreader. He held on to his hand trap, you know, one too many steps there. So obviously most people are trying to hold it for the Halq Fibrax, but it's too late. Too late. And maybe I'll discard. I definitely want to discard the Solemn Strike, because then you'll just have like the solid kind of. anytime I activate a monster effect, it's going to be hard chain there. And the Borlet Savage Dragon, we'll see what ends up being taken out of his hand. I think it ends up being like both of these actually. So it's just like the perfect 2 discards because these cards aren't doing nothing, and he lets go. So very, very cool. And last but not least, this is like a water deck, I guess. I get to go first. It's Deep Sea Diva combo one more time because why not? Obviously, Nibiru is going to be taken right out of his hand. And, the Dark Rune More is okay. Maybe, hopefully, I'll discard it. A 50-50 shot at this point. It doesn't have any play starters either. So, even with the Dark Rune More, what's he going to do? Probably isn't going to combo off. Called by the Grave is always nice to see in the hand there. But you need Cross-Eyed Designator for cards like Nibiru, for infinite permanence, and just everything else. Also, it's not bad. Like, Cross-Eyed Designator can be pretty good, especially if you, keep in a copy of Dark Rune or more, and they don't activate anything during your turn, and you have it in your hand. You can just set it, and obviously it can be responded to. So, Cross-Eyed Designator can be, way, way good if you kind of keep those going second cards in there as well. I wouldn't do Forbidden Droplets in case we discard a spell card. It probably wouldn't be worth it, but yeah, Dark Rune or more definitely would be. But yeah, that's going to do it for this Ice Barrier updated gameplay. I think it's much better now. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And once again, Merry Christmas, guys. Hope you're having a great day.